everybody, I'm Keef. Welcome to my home studio. So in this video, I'm actually going to show you around my home studio, how I work from day to day, the gear I use. So I'm going to try to leave everything I name in this video in the description below. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's go.
Keef Keyz Productions.
So before we get into the studio, this is outside of the studio. I have some plaques up of some projects that I've been fortunate to work on. Just some memorable projects that I worked on that kind of mean a lot to me. This actually was the first project that I ever released, December 23rd, 2011. Cruise Control by my man D Pool. Monumental moment in my career, first project I ever released. Super proud of that. You have the sign that says the studio, and then over here we have my Yamaha Stage Custom Standard set. So I actually had this set probably for the past 18 years. One of the first drum sets professionally that I ever bought, and I still have it to this day. I have a Mapex snare in here, 13-inch, I forget the actual other dimensions, and just a steel snare drum. Now if we move to the left, here I have my Hammond Organ CV model. So this model is different than, you know, a C3 A100 B3. This is a CV model. It doesn't come with a Trek 2 kit, doesn't have volume. It didn't even come with a tremolo switch or anything. But what I did for this organ was I got an adapter, 11 pin, 6 pin. Anyway, one of those pins to a 1/4 inch cable adapter, and that's going to a DI box with a pad on it, because the signal is super hot like none other. It goes with a pad on it, and that's actually going to what you call a neo ventilator. It's like a little device, it's like a pedal board in a sense, but it emulates a tremolo. You know, a lot of guitar players use it, organ players use it, and it simulates a Leslie spinning, because this organ does not come with the Leslie in mind, so it doesn't have any of the components for the Leslie. So that's going to the neo ventilator, and that neo ventilator is actually hooked up to this switch I was able to find that actually has a 1/4 inch output as a remote switch. So this is actually controlling the neo ventilator, is simulating the spinning of the actual Leslie. And then I have that going to my Harbinger PA speakers. These speakers I have just because I do some live PA stuff, and this is just like easy travel stuff just to grab. So I actually have the organ going to that, and it's still sounds good. You can, yep, so it gives you just what you need. And when I need to hook it up into the studio and track with it, I literally just run lines from the DI boxes back to the studio. So that's that. Like I said, this is some of my PA kit, some extra gear, stands and stuff. Yeah, so this is kind of everything outside of the studio. Now let's go in. Okay, cool. So now we are inside my actual studio room, and this is kind of what it looks like. So let me just break down a little bit. So this room actually is 13 by 11. 13 by 11, so it's not fully squared. And when I first got into this space, the ceilings were actually, you know, open, so there was no drywall, nothing on the ceilings. So what I actually did was I took some rock wool and I packed the entire ceiling, and then we wrapped it with, this is the material that you use for like gardening. I forget the actual material name, but it's breathable, super breathable, and it's all black, and it was super cheap. So that's what I use, but really just rock wool up in the ceilings, all everywhere around in here. And then also, this room literally has an elephant in the room. Let me see if I can get it. So this back wall that's draped actually has the actual boiler heater for the whole house, you know, the actual oil for the house. So what I actually had to do when I got this space was I got a whole bunch of moving blankets. I draped it over top of it, and if you can tell, this is actually the drum shield to my drum set, you know. And what I did was I put that up surrounding it, and then I also draped over that more moving blankets as well. So you can't tell it's actually in here in the room, and you can't hear it unless if I have something turned up extremely loud. And you may hear a little bit of something, but like when you're mixing and when you're tracking, you really don't hear it at all. So as far as the acoustic panels go, I have acoustic panels all the way around the entire room. Let the light catch up. The entire room. So over here, this actually is a hack. These are actually two bookshelves from IKEA. You call like the Presto something. It was like a $50 bookshelf. I got two of them. I packed it with rock wool, and then I ended up flipping it upside down, and I put wheels on it. So this is actually like a gobo. These actually move, and you can actually pull them out and surround whatever space that you're actually in if you want to create like an intimate little vocal booth. Or I originally did that to sit behind me when I mix because I thought that it would make a difference. And honestly, I like it better over there. It makes a bigger difference over there. And so that's what those two big monstrosities are. Those are two like gobos that I made from an IKEA bookshelves. I have another sound panel right there. I made that simple 2x4 and with rock wool. Same here. Then over here in the corner, we have a bass trap, which is about 6 inches deep. I don't even think the camera is going to be able to accurately show you, but that bass trap is 6 inches deep. It's super thick, makes a difference. And then we also have more sound panels over there as well, and that is the Keef Keyz production sign. Also, up above my mixing position is a cloud I built. Which honestly doesn't do anything, I'll be honest with you, but it's up and I wasn't going to take it down. So let's talk about my desk in the command center. So this desk is actually a desk from a company called KK Audio. This desk was originally made for the Control 24 Surface, and I actually got this desk because I live on Facebook Marketplace, and somebody was selling it for $100 and listed it as sound table. And as soon as I saw that, I said, yeah, you clearly don't know what you have. And I ended up paying $70 for this entire desk. All right, that should be enough of a plug for Facebook Marketplace. But that's where this desk came from. I modified it to actually fit my needs. This is it's a cool desk. I mean, I think in the future, what I'm going to end up doing is getting a desk that actually can fit like an 88 key keyboard in the front as well as the keyboard tray, you know, your regular standard keyboard tray. But for right now, it works. No problems at all. The chair that I have, this chair is the Herman Miller embodied task chair, something like that. Yeah, it's a Herman Miller chair. Had this chair for a little bit. This chair does the job. I mean, it's a little expensive, but definitely does the job. So on my desk, I have the SSL UF1. This is my DAW controller. I actually like this controller. I used a bunch in the past. This is my favorite one. This controller actually makes you want to be hands-on while using it. This fader has great feel. All the knobs have great feel to them. So I really do like this model. I did have like all the PreSonus ones in the past. I really didn't like those, but this SSL model I really do like. So the speakers that I'm currently using are the Focal Twin Evos. So these 3-way speakers, I love the way how these sound. I have these sitting on the ISO acoustic stands, the big ones, the big ISO acoustic stands. I really do like the way these monitors sound. I had them for about 3 months now, 4 months. I really like the way they sound. Before then I had Adam A7Xs. They were cool, but I feel like these allow me to be a little more creative. And I feel like the A7Xs were a bit more literal, which I absolutely loved for mixing, but sometimes it just drove me crazy with how literal it actually was. So those are the monitors I'm using, and like I said, they're on the ISO acoustic stands. The screen that I am using, this is a 35-inch screen that I got off of Amazon. This is called the Deco Gear 35-inch. It's a very nice screen. I really like it. I actually have this screen on a adjustable arm. Let me see if I can move it. So you can lift it up, down, in and out. It's not just sitting. So yeah, so I really do like it. I actually have another arm back here as well. This actually holds the camera that I'm holding now, which is the Sony ZV-E10. So when I'm doing tutorials or my podcast calls or Zoom calls or whatever, that's where my camera actually sits. So yeah, I really like this screen. I really like this setup. Above it, I have an old TV that was in one of my bedrooms that I'm just not using anymore. So this works well as a secondary screen. I actually have it on a stand, so it's not on the wall. It's actually on a stand, and that stand is actually on a platform that I built that's under the desk that you probably can't see. So it's really not on the wall. I have like this decorative pallet board thing I made behind it that's on the wall. That's cool. But yeah, so this is the screen that I use, my screen setup that I use. Underneath it, I'm running my iPad and I'm running Yukon U-Control on it. So it just mirrors with everything in my DAW that I'm using. For my DAW, I am a Cubase user. I've been using Cubase for probably over 16 years now. It's crazy to even say that. So that's the DAW that I'm using. Yeah, this is Cubase 13 Pro. So I have my Alexa right there. She runs the whole studio, cuts everything on and off. All the lights in the studio are controlled by Alexa. So I have some track lighting right there that's controlled by Alexa. My logo sign, it's actually controlled by Alexa. I have some lights up here controlled by Alexa, and I also have some lights going around the whole desk that's controlled by Alexa as well. I just have a super lighting here for the camera, but really is always a vibe in here. So Alexa controls all of that. Right next to Alexa, I have my Aventone mix cubes. All right, these are the passive ones. These are not the active ones. I had these for a very long time. I really do feel like if you don't have NS10s or a mix cube, you really should look into getting some, because they really do make a difference when it comes to the mid-range, and they really do tell you a lot of things that your monitors won't tell you. So I've switched out monitors maybe like 1,010 times, right? But these don't ever switch out. You know, they're not going to lie to you. They're going to tell you the truth. And yeah, I really do love using them. So right next to them, I have my Tascam DR60D Mark II audio recorder. So this audio recorder is cool. I actually use this when I'm doing tutorials to record my voice. This is a really clean audio recorder, and you have the ability to actually do an output and go straight direct to your camera as well. So clean audio with that. Next to that, I have my Audient Nero. So this is my monitor controller. I had different monitor controllers. This one is my favorite so far. For the price it's worth, I think it was like $500 when I first got it. Very great controller, great feeling. That you have with all the buttons. You have the ability to have 4 different headphone outputs. You can change the source that is feeding each output, mono, your polarity switch, your cut switch, your dim switch, talkback mic, everything. I love this monitor controller. It makes a difference. So if you're out here changing monitors all the time and you're not considering the actual controller of the monitors, you might want to do that, because when I changed out to this monitor controller, this made a significant difference in what I was actually hearing from the monitors. And it doesn't make sense to spend money on monitors if you're really not going to hear exactly what they are producing. So I really like this for a lot of the features. The talkback mic I use a lot. I actually have a microphone plugged into that. The microphone I have plugged into that is this. This is my Rode Procaster. Simple Rode mic. You can trust it. It's not going to lie to you. I have it on a adjustable arm as well that sits here for all my interviews, stuff like that. Talkback mic, and I still use a talkback mic when I'm recording even people in this room. It's easier just to talk to somebody from the headphones than hi. So I use this feature a lot. Love it. This keyboard right here, this MIDI keyboard, this is the Arturia Keylab Essential 61. I use a lot of Arturia products. I love their company and they treat me better than family. So this is a really great, useful MIDI keyboard. The functionality of it is awesome. The ability to create and warp a lot of MIDI signals is awesome. All of these are mappable. You know, there's a lot you can do. MIDI keyboards are MIDI keyboards, but you know, when you find one that actually works with your workflow, then you kind of stick with it. And this one does the job. I use a simple Apple Magic keyboard. That's what they call these Magic keyboards. Well, the Apple keyboard. I use the Logitech M575 mouse, the scroll mouse with the wheel, so not the full trackball. I still don't know how all y'all do just do the whole trackball, but this ergonomics right here, this makes a huge difference when you are working on music for a long time, especially when you don't have enough real estate to kind of move a mouse around. This is perfect. Hands stay in one place, and I really do like this mouse. To the right of that is my Stream Deck. So I use the Stream Deck a lot. It controls all of the colors of the lights, cuts on and off the lights as well. All the functionality that I have in Cubase, and just some easy things. You know, it can set up automatic session folders for me with the click of a button. Pulls up different programs that I need at the click of a button, and then I have some, you know, other streaming features in there. Stream Deck, this thing is super handy, super useful. It's definitely a tool that I think everybody should have. It gives you the opportunities just to do anything you want in your DAW and just on your computer, period, and not just streaming. So I swear by the Stream Deck. All right. So we'll move over to some of the gear that I use. So here I have the Fredenstein Bento 2, the 500 series rack, and it's housing 2 500 series for me. The first one is the Neve Portico 511. This is my main microphone preamp that I use. This thing is crazy. Super clean, but can get super flavorful on you in a second. It gives you a lot of texture and a lot of color if you really need it, but can be super clean. And you can overdo it. Next to it, I have the Warm Audio WA12. I got this to just have another preamp in the studio that just gives a different type of color and flavor. Usually if I'm tracking vocals, you know, main vocal will be kind of on the Neve, and then I'll switch up the preamp, you know, to the Warm Audio WA12 just to give it a little bit different flavor. This is actually good on bass guitar as well. Under that, I have my Warm Audio WA76 style compressor. This compressor is a good compressor. I'm actually surprised with warm audio stuff. I have a couple of warm audio stuff. I'm surprised with how well these units work. They work like a 76. One of the other studios I worked out of, you know, had vintage 76s, and you kind of can't beat them, but for the price you're getting, this is a very good, you know, 76 style compressor. So right underneath that is my audio interface. This is the Arturia Audio Fuse 16 rig audio interface. I love this interface. So I've had a million different interfaces before. This interface does a lot for me. So it has 2 outputs right here on the front. It has 2 preamps here on the front. Then you also have 3 and 4 channels, 3 and 4. It's like a 3.5 millimeter. You can cycle through your ins, your outs, you know, your different ends, your mixer, and I'll tell you what that is in a second. Your Q mixes. This is your encoder that you can just cycle through everything. Your monitor control right here. You have headphones, and you have the ability to connect the USB directly to it and MIDI directly to it. So they made this mixer to cover a couple of different things. One thing they did is 16 ins. So if you are somebody who has a lot of keyboards or a lot of gear, outboard gear, and you just need more inputs, this gives you 16 inputs. It only has 2 preamps. The preamps are actually on the front. So these 2 combo jacks you have on the front, those are the only preamps you have. But you know, if you have a lot of outboard gear, a lot of outboard preamps, then this might just be good for you. Feels real good. It's a premium product. It feels really great, works very well. And this is the actual software for it. You actually have the ability to use this as a standalone mixer. So if you're doing live PA stuff, you can actually take this rack just as your mixer and your laptop, and that's it, and you're done. You're good. You have the ability to route in here. You have the ability to do so much inside the software. And I think brand new, I forget how much this was brand new, around the $1,500, $1,800 realm, around there when it was brand new. For the price, you know, this to me is a no-brainer. So I really do love this audio interface, and once again, it's another Arturia product. But yeah, and underneath that we have the SM Audio PR8 8-channel preamps. These preamps, they're cool. Honestly, I think the preamps in the Audio Fuse interface may be better than these preamps. They're good. They give you a signal. It's not as clean as I would like it to be. I think that there is a bit of flavor and not the flavor I ordered. So it's cool. They're not super expensive at all. So if you need preamps, then, you know, there you go. On the other side of the desk, what I have is a patch bay, which honestly, this patch bay, Samsung patch bay, does not even get used anymore because of the ability we have inside the Audio Fuse software to route things. You can route channels to any channel you want. It's a digital patch bay as well. You do not need a patch bay. Therefore, this patch bay literally is just a pass-through from my keyboards that are going directly into this patch bay. Literally just coming out the back and going straight to the interface. So that's what's here. Underneath that, I have the DBX 266A. I had this for a while. I just never got rid of it. You know, it has the compressor, the gate on it. It's a nice unit. You know, it's here if I really need it. I have used it on bass guitar before, which it did the job. It's cool. It's a simple compressor, but honestly, the way I feel about, you know, this is you're probably more likely using a plugin before you'll grab this, but it is here. So underneath the desk here, I actually just put a whole bunch of racks together and made a door. So I can put like my book bag and stuff. Here's just a drawer. You got a whole bunch of random stuff inside the drawer. On this side, I call this the hub. I got a light in here. This is actually where everything lives. So that's the MacBook I'm using. MacBook I'm using is a 2020. Anyway, it's the M1 Pro Max. That's the laptop I'm using. It's on a cooler. I put a little shelf in here. Everything is hooked up to this CalDigit hub right here. So all the devices are connected to there, and I only have to plug one USB-C cable into the laptop. I have two plugged in now because the way how I had it plugged in before, for some reason, the TV, the big TV, would just cause this noise throughout everything else. So the TV is plugged directly in there, as well as the laptop, as well as the CalDigit. But you only need this hub with that single USB-C cord. You probably seen these things everywhere. This is a no-brainer if you have anything USB-C, anything that supports Thunderbolt 3 and 4 and up. No-brainer. Underneath it, you know, I have my hard drives in here. I have a couple hard drives. I have a SanDisk working hard drive. Then I also have a Seagate 5 terabyte hard drive. Then I have another Seagate 5 terabyte hard drive. I have my Time Machine hard drives down there. I have video editing hard drives down there. A lot of hard drives down there. And I use a program called ChronoSync. It's like $50, but what ChronoSync does, you can set it up to back up daily, or triggers whenever hard drives are recognized, automatically back up and stuff. So that's the backing up system that I use, from the working hard drive over to the 5 terabyte, over to the other 5 terabyte. It's pretty crazy, but try that program out, ChronoSync. And also all of the things that I mentioned, I'll try to link in the description below. So this amp right here, this is the Crown XLS 202. This is a power amp I just had for a very long time. And this is the power amp that I use to actually power my Aventone mix cubes. It works for it. Sometimes, you know, you gotta give it a nice little love. But yeah, then it's just a USB hub right here that just has a lot of the devices that I use to connect to the computer. And I have this little light, which is cool. And underneath the desk is my subwoofer. This is the JBL LSR 310. Good subwoofer, sounds good, especially for the price. Pretty surprised. This thing actually makes a bit of difference. The Focals do a great job with the low end, but this does give you a bit more of like 20 and 30 hertz. And it gives you more feeling as well, especially when you're done a mix or production, you want to turn it up loud. This definitely does the job. So the main microphone I use is this microphone right here. This is the Lawton Audio Clarion FC357 microphone. I did a video on this microphone. I absolutely love it. For the price, man, this is just my go-to microphone first in the studio. And if a voice just isn't connecting with it, then I swap out for some of the other mics that I have. But rarely do I have to swap this out. I actually have this on this ProLine stand that has wheels on it. The stand is cool. It's heavy duty. When you get a microphone that's this heavy, this expensive, you want to make sure that the stand is good. So this stand is a cool stand. When I first got it, the wheels are weird how they fit, so I had to do some configuring with that. But other than that, it does the job. I do have some other microphones that I use as well. Here is my Audix Fusion Series 6 drum microphones. That's for when I'm tracking drums. I do not track drums here anymore, but when I have to or do live stuff, I'll take those with me. Here's some more mics in my mic locker. SM57. I have a couple of these. here and elsewhere. Can't find a lot of them. PG58. This is a Shure wireless microphone, one of the wireless microphones that I use. Here is a Shure SM58. So, you know, the other version. SM58 dynamic. Sennheiser XS1 dynamic. The Beta 57. I like the SM57. But I like the Beta 57 much better. All right, I'm not gonna say I don't like the SM57, but I like the Beta 57 much better. Just try it out before you knock it. I have an Audio Technica AT2035, simple microphone. Another Warm Audio product, Warm Audio WA47 Junior. Yo, this thing is a workhorse. This actually surprises me. Out of all the products that Warm Audio makes, this right here, and it's only like $200 or something, $200 something for this microphone. But the way it sounds and the way it performs, you literally can put this on anything and you're good. Yeah, I might actually buy a couple more of these, honestly, for the price. But yeah, so those are some of the mics in my mic locker. I have a lot more mics that honestly are not here. Other things in this drawer, just some knickknacks, studio knickknack stuff, and all these other drawers. Pop filters, shock mounts, things of that nature. Little business cards and stickers for people. The headphones that I use in the studio are all Bear Dynamic. So these are the DT770 Pros. These are tracking headphones. Very good headphones. I like these isolated sounds. This is kind of a staple. A lot of people use those. The other pair of headphones that I use are the DT990s Pros. So these are just the open back. Those are the closed back models. Yeah, they really work. I like the way these sound. Take a little bit getting used to, but once you get used to them, you love them. Moving over to the wall, I have my Ibanez BTB 5-string bass guitar, which I'm really not a bass player, but great sounding bass. Had this thing for a very long time. Now over to these boards over here. So over here, this is the Korg X50 synthesizer. It has some great sounds in it. Definitely an older model. A lot of the Kronos now has Korg Kronos has a lot of the sounds and built off of this era of Korg keyboards. So it's still I still use this for a lot of like ear candy stuff. It has like a lot of weird sounds going on. This is my trusty Motif 6. I've had this thing for ages. Probably since Jesus was a baby. I still use this keyboard all the time. It's held me down. I always have some great sounds. So that's the Motif 6. Underneath it, this is the SL88, the Studio Logic SL88 MIDI keyboard. It's light for an 88 keyboard. Honestly, when I gig out places, sometimes I'll just take this in my laptop. And I won't take the Motif, I won't take a keyboard, I'll just take that and my laptop and go. So I have the Motif slaved to this, so I can use this just for the Motif. If I just want to use the Motif, I'll just use this board. Or I can just, you know, turn the volume off of that and just use VST plugins as well. So this keyboard feels amazing. For 88, honestly, if you're going to go out and get an 88 keyboard and you're not too like big on like the sounds and stuff, or you have the sounds out of another keyboard or out of a rack or out of VSTs that you want, just get this. Just get this. It's going to be cheaper than buying an 88 keyboard. It's lighter. It has so much functionality with this thing. You can control a lot of what goes on in that keyboard and in VSTs just based off of here. Super great product. I stand by it, love it. Right here I have my Alesis Vortex keytar. This is also a MIDI keyboard. I don't use it as much anymore. This is like for show and stuff like that. But it does give you the ability to trigger MIDI instruments. You can go full wireless with it. So this is really cool. It gives you that functionality. But that's the Alesis Vortex. Love that as well. Over here behind it is just my wall of cables on some pegboard. So I have some cables hung up there. And then I also have a little stand over here for your laptop or for music if you come in and want to track. Now if we move to the other side of the room, I just have like that decorative tile thing that you can get like on Amazon and stuff. It just makes the space look a little better. I have that on the wall with some track lighting up. This is like the snack area, a little help yourself area. So I got some snacks in the studio. I'm tired of people coming in here always saying I'm hungry, so there you go. Got some K-cups, you know, got your coffee. There's two things in life I drink. It's water and coffee. That's about it. So coffee machine right there, a little plant. Then I just have some boxes of some gear that I use. This is also another MIDI keyboard I have. This is the Mini Lab 3. So this is just like the Keylab 61, just in a smaller version. I put that in my book bag, take that with me when I'm flying and when I'm working out of the studio. Very great MIDI keyboard. Another interface, that's the Personas Revelator. IO24, that's the interface that I actually carry with me everywhere. And just boxes to some of the other gear I have. The Samsung MDR8 mixer, PA mixer. I have a bunch of PA mixers because I just do live sound stuff. But yeah, Sam Ash is going out of business at the taping of this, so can't get no more of them. I mean, this is actually isn't that good of a product, to be honest with you, but it holds me down for when I need it. Then I also have like a wine cooler, but wine's not in there, it's water. So that's the little snack area that I have over here. Then also on the side of the snacks, I got two chairs right here. Just simple chairs and a table. So whoever is coming to record or be in the studio, they can just chill out, relax there, or write, do whatever. But that's the little seating area. So guys, that's the tour of my home studio. I hope you liked the video. I'm going to try to leave a description of everything in the studio in the description below. So if you need to search for anything, hopefully it's there. Before you leave, hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell to get more videos like this. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.